Here's the thing about AI fitness apps. They are all just glorified video players. Yes, I said it. They show you a routine and maybe they time you, but that's about it. If your form is off, that's your problem. So I thought, what if AI could actually watch you exercise and give you real-time feedback, just like a personal trainer? Imagine getting pointers on your form or encouragement in real time right as you're moving. Today I'm sharing the journey of building my own AI fitness assistant that can watch you, analyze, and coach you while you're working out. So I was watching Tina Huang's video 5 unique AI projects the other day, and one of their ideas just stuck in my head and just wouldn't let go. I couldn't stop thinking about it. In the video, Tina talked about using OpenAI's vision for things like ASL correction, reading Gen Alpha slang, or even analyzing video cues from dates to improve social skills. I don't know about that part. Might sound a bit creepy unless you're asking for permission, of course, to do that. The point here was the technology is available to achieve something like this. So that gave me an idea. Why not take it a step further, and instead of just analyzing some random video to tell you what is happening, what if you could analyze your form instead? But analyzing just your form by uploading your video would be too boring. So I took it a step further. Why not analyze whilst you are working out, real time, so AI can yell at you if your form is bad and give you praise if your form is good, just like a personal trainer. Before we dive in, let's talk about what's out there. Most AI-powered fitness apps either play recorded videos, count your reps if you're lucky, or maybe track some biometrics. But none of these apps actually watch you, analyze your form, and give you real-time coaching. I knew I needed a solid tech stack to pull this off, so I decided to use OpenAI's GPT-4 vision model for the form analysis, Flask as my backend for data processing, React Native for the mobile app interface, and Socket.io for real-time communication between AI and the user. The first step was setting up a video processing pipeline where every frame could be extracted, analyzed, and fed into the model. OpenAI's vision model helps us analyze those frames to detect key markers like posture, limb alignment, and symmetry, and that's what makes the feedback loop work. To make this happen, I borrowed some code Tina left on her GitHub, thanks Tina, and added slight modification to make it work for my use case. At first, it was a simple upload-only version. I could upload a video and would analyze each frame one by one, but the goal was real-time analysis. That's where Socket.io came into play. By using WebSocket connection, the AI could now process frames on the go and give you feedback instantly. To start off this project, I headed to Claude AI, which is my go-to for things like this. You could use ChatGPT as well for this, but from my experience, Claude gives you solid answers most of the time without hallucinating too much. I basically asked Claude to provide me technical specifications that can make this possible, and Claude gave me some pretty solid suggestions. As you can see, this diagram looks pretty solid. So with that, I had a solid plan. Here's what I wanted to do. When you start exercising, here's what happens. Your phone's camera captures your movement. The frames are sent to our AI. GPT-4 vision analyzes your form and you get instant voice feedback about what you are doing wrong or right. To make this effective, it had to happen on the mobile device. This is where Expo comes in. Expo is a tool designed to make building mobile apps much easier, especially if you're using JavaScript and React Native, a popular framework for building apps for iOS and Android. Think of Expo as a toolkit that saves you from the hard start when building apps and lets you focus on creating features and design. Here's a simple breakdown. Normally, building mobile apps involves a lot of complex setup for both iOS and Android. Expo handles most of this for you, giving you a jump start so you don't have to configure everything from scratch. Expo comes with a set of built-in tools for common app functions like accessing your camera, push notification, and location tracking. Normally, you would need to code each of these things separately. With Expo, it's like having a set of app building power tools ready to use. Expo also has the Expo Go app, which I love, that you can basically install on your mobile device and be able to basically test it as you are building it. Since Expo is based on React Native, it's designed to work on both iOS and Android from a single code base. You don't need to write separate code for each platform. The second thing I did was head over to Dribble, where I usually get design inspiration, and this time I just took a screenshot of a design I like. Normally, if you're building an enterprise application or a SaaS application, you would want to do the right thing and contact the designer and see if they can design your application for you. These These would usually include wireframes and designs that have a lot more details on color tokens, layout, sizes, and components. But since this is just for demonstration purposes and to keep it simple, I just took a screenshot. Once I had a screenshot, it was a matter of feeding it to my favorite AI and asking it to provide me the code for the designs. In my case, I use bolt.new here. I find it to be great for most cases and to not just provide me chassis and components. And as you can see, bolt.new did a great job transferring those screenshots into code. After it provides you the code, all you have to do is download it, move it to your application folder if you have one set up, or create a brand new folder. Give it a name of your app and make sure you transfer the files from bolt.new into this folder. The next step was downloading the dependencies and running Expo, and then you get this beautiful iOS simulator on your Mac and also on my phone through the Expo Go app. As you can see here, it's been a long time since I built anything in React Native, so I had to run a Google for help on how to expose the dev tools. Turns out it's Command D, by the way. I think this is why building web applications is so much easier, because all of these dev tools and inspector tools are readily available to you. But with Expo, it's a little bit challenging. For editing the app, I use Cursor. As you can see in these first renders, it did not come with a button to record anything. And most of the inspiration for the app was for a food and calorie tracking app. So I had to change things around to log maybe the recorded exercises and analysis in case I want to go back to them. But I soon ran into issues. The camera component you get out of Expo that basically allows you to capture video and photos from your camera just will not work. Using the image picker from Expo worked best for me in order to open the camera and get live recording or upload video from the camera roll. Now that we got that working and can now record or upload video, I needed a backend to process the data and send to the AI for analysis. For the backend, Python, of course. I could use Node.js here as well, just to keep things consistent with JavaScript. But I find that when working with AI, some of the best tools are built in Python, and Python is the language of AI, so why not? As you can see, I'm just setting up the backend on a new environment and setting up a server in the main.py file. I used Flask for API integration and OpenAI for the AI. At this point, I was just setting up the API to process video that would be uploaded from our frontend. Once that was done, I just needed to connect the newly created API to our frontend such that right after the user uploads a video from their camera roll, the video is sent for processing and the response is displayed nicely for the user to see. Getting the camera to cooperate, as you can see, was not the easiest thing. I had to go back and forth for a while here to resolve this issue. After that issue got resolved, the next step was getting live recording and feedback, which is ideally where I wanted to end up with this project before I was satisfied. And it wasn't as easy as I thought. Let me explain. So right now we have a technology called socket.io. Think of regular HTTP requests like fetching a web page as sending letters through mail. You send a request, wait, and eventually get a response. It's one way at a time and there's always a delay. Socket.io is more like a phone call. It's continuous, open connection. Both sides can talk anytime. Messages are instant and you don't have to keep asking any updates. The problem is each frame can be 1 or 2 megabytes. At 30 frames per second, that's 30 to 60 megabytes per second. Socket.io wasn't designed for such large data transfers and so can quickly overwhelm both client and the server. But I managed to get it to record a live 30-second clip whilst you are working out and then provide its feedback afterward. There are other web APIs out there that can achieve this, but then this project gets even more complex than it already is. But I think for the first pass and demonstration, this was good enough and certainly something that can be improved bit by bit to the real deal. I was okay hitting the record and waiting for it to make its analysis and give me feedback afterwards. And it wasn't bad. At this point, I was already exhausted, but I will fine tune it to give it much better responses like a personal trainer would, and even yell at me to go harder and keep going like a real personal trainer would, or even shower me with praise if I did things correctly. Anyway, if you want to access the code, it will be in my GitHub link below and you can play around with it and make it better. Thanks for watching and check out my previous video where I built an entire travel agent crew that would basically do your travel planning for you. So if that is something that interests you, Go right now and check out that video. Till the next time, it's peace.